What's up, everybody? Totally lost, totally wrong. I told you guys I was going to change the time. I didn't do it because I thought I didn't need to do it, but then I needed to do it, but then it didn't happen, and that's how you do it. So that's what happened, everybody. Welcome to Sunday night. Welcome to All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show. The show that talks about Fantasy Grounds. And also, I'm going to give our disclaimer before we start, which is that this show is meant to teach and help everybody, but it is not. The opinions stated by the four of us do not reflect that of Smiteworks USA LLC or Fantasy Grounds. We are here with Mad Nomad GM, who we are going to say hello to in a moment, and we're going to talk about his brand new creation, which is totally awesome. But before we do that, I'm going to say hello to my co-hosts in no particular order. Robin, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you.
Yay.
Yay. And Fury, how are you?
um, Personally, I'm okay. Just trying to figure out whether or not I get to go back to work tomorrow or not.
Yes. She lives in Texas, everybody. It's all a question. We would like to welcome a first-time person on the show, Mr. Mad Nomad GM. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Excellent.
Wait. So I know you're your first time, guest on the show, but are you a long time listener? No, maybe, yes.
I'm having to
Hashtag
answer
put him on the
that
spot.
Sorry, I cut out on that there. I didn't hear it. I've seen the show. If that's what you asked, I'm guessing that's what you asked. My psychic
Yes.
powers.
Yeah, he did. That's what she asked. Excellent. All right. So first things first, I'm gonna bring up on screen what we're talking about here, and then I'll put a link in the chat because this went on sale this morning, and it is called, what is it called? It's called Mad Nomad, or it's called Fantasy Grounds, Xanathar's Encounter Generator, and it's I'll get the link in the chat. Here we go.
Ooh.
And JBabs81, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So we're gonna obviously we're gonna talk about it and have him tell us, kind of walk us through a demonstration, everything. But basically, it's an encounter generator that uses the Monster Manual, Volo's Guide to Monsters, and Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes as sources to make encounters via Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Ooh, that should be a capital right there. That should totally be a capital. I gotta change that. It uses Xanathar's Guide to Everything to make the encounter. That's the method that it uses. And when you get this from the DM's Guild, it's 2 modules, which he'll explain the difference there, and it also comes with 12 battle maps, 1 for each type of terrain. So
Does it give you a map too when you generate the encounter?
sort of. I'll let Derek tell us how that all works. So yes, sir. I tried to do the best I can, but let me know if I left anything out of that description, and then you can tell us what you'd like to tell us and show us what you'd like to show us.
Sure, no, yeah, that's a great overview, Rob. Basically, yeah, it's I was running a lot of games, and players always trying to go places you don't expect them to, or best in dungeons when they shouldn't be. I needed random to throw at them, and frustrating trying to use some generator on the web on the fly and put it into Fantasy Grounds. So I built this mainly for that reason, to make it really easy to generate encounters and customize them and stuff, and have them really built right into Fantasy Grounds. And as you mentioned, some people may not be aware, but Xanathar's Guide to Everything introduced some new rules for creating combat encounters. They're a little more simplified than the older Dungeon Master rules. So I used that method to basically calculate what creatures are thrown at you, and that's all handled.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we can start out. If you want to just open up from the right-hand side there, the tables.
Yes, we discovered.
Ooh.
I'm here in the Real Granamir. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I hope I said your name right. I'm here in the Encounter Generator 1. We discovered before the show that if you click on tables here, that takes a long time. It will work, but it just takes forever. But if you the preferred best practice method would be to come to the right side and click on tables there like that, which is instant.
And you can, I'll start off showing a really simple version. If you use the M&M encounter all second link.
Okay, and I think I think you said it has about 20,000 tables, right?
Yeah, it's
And
big. There's a
you guys can see here that the list of tables is 105 pages, so that's
Oh my
10,500.
God. I thought I
And
liked tables.
each one inside has different, like, I mean, hello, it's just crazy.
And the
So
good news is you never need to use any of them beyond the ones on this page. So you can basically forget they're even there.
right. Okay, so we got this open.
All right, so now just all you need to do to generate a simple encounter is you figure out how many PCs you have and then what level they are on average. I'll click on the right link there. So
Okay.
let's choose 6 level PCs, or doesn't really
Okay.
matter. But
Yeah, level 6 and 6 PCs. Okay, so we're gonna choose this right here, like that.
hit the roll button.
And here we go, everybody. Okay, and it's going to give us. Well, you'll explain why the tokens are the way they are, but you'll see how this works.
Yeah, okay. So as Rob mentioned, there's 3 different source books that are used to generate the encounters. You don't actually need all 3 books. You can, if you have any one of them, you can use this. If you have all 3, it'll be the best case. But you might run into situations like this if you don't have all 3, where you may be missing one of the books. If you are, you'll see a Z. Click on the little shield there on the right. It'll basically tell you you're missing a book. So Rob hasn't loaded the book in this case.
So I will.
Bad Rob.
I know. We did it on
Bad
purpose.
Rob.
Now you'll have to re-roll the encounter.
Right. And so what might happen here is I might still get Z's because the other 2 books aren't open. Like I got a Z there. So let's see what that's asking for. Mordenkainen's Tomopho, so I'll open that. And right away I know people are going to ask because they've already asked. I've been asked this like 4 times already. Will there be more sources available in the future?
Gold press.
Yeah, only very, very possible. I think it sort of depends on how much traction this gets. If people actually use it and like it, and that it might be worth the effort to put some more books in here. And I sort of have in my back pocket a plan to basically add all the books.
Yeah.
So it's basically all up to the consumer. So as long as you guys buy this, then yes.
I'm going to just open Volos here. Okay. So there's an example encounter that I rolled, which is 2 Allosaurus and a Triceratops. And just like any other encounter, you can of course click the thing and it'll give you the CR and the XP if you want to do that.
Oh, it gave you like a really thematic encounter there.
Yeah.
And then you can just hit the down arrow and it will just add that combat to the combat tracker.
Which I already had stuff in here, so it's all jacked up. But yeah, there they are. I already had an Archmage in there. So, yep, it adds it to the thing, and there you go. It's all automatic. Awesome.
Yeah, and so that's the very simple way you can use this. And I don't think you'll ever use it that way once you see the more powerful ways to use it. But that is not an option. The other thing you can do is if we go back to the tables. You can see there's a bunch of high-level tables up here with keywords after them, like Arctic, Beast, Coastal, Demon. Let's choose like Desert, for example. What this will do is this will let you build an encounter specific to that keyword. So in this case, only desert creatures will be involved. You chose like Beast, so it would only be Beasts that you will.
Cool. And what is the plus sign, just for my own edification?
Yeah, so the plus sign is when I first built this, I didn't have the plus version in part of it. And so plus, if you use the plus in your table and the syntax I'll show you later, that adds an extra feature where it will introduce a terrain-based mapped and some terrain-based effects you can use. We'll actually take a look at that right here in this example.
Okay. So let's do what is this again? This is a desert. Let's do 4 PCs at level 8. Let's try that. 4 PCs at level 8. That's this one. Here we go, everybody. Oh, snap. Okay, so it only rolled 1, but it gave us this weird desert encounter. What pray tell is that?
Yeah, so if you click on, let's add that to the combat tracker first.
Okay, yep. Boom.
And if you click on the shield next to the desert encounter, either one, yeah, you can do it here too, or the combat tracker, either way. And then if you go to the other tab, you open the desert maps link there. Let's say you don't have a map that you want to use for this encounter handy. You can just click that to open up desert maps.
Boom.
And as I mentioned, there's 12 maps included in this module, one for each terrain type. And it will just give you a map that you can easily throw the encounter onto. You can just drag the red shield icon or whatever from the combat tracker onto the map, and now you have all your encounter on the map.
Oh yeah, except for
way,
it was not gridded, I don't think.
But yeah, I've already fixed that, and I'm going to be uploading a new version that has the grid, so that'll be
excellent. Yeah. So here, if this would have been gridded, which I can do real fast. Boom. Okay, now if I did it, then there they are, right there, that one. And this is just a marker. You wouldn't actually need that one. You could get rid of that. But yeah, so there that guy is, and I can make
That's
him.
really
something
nice.
else cool that this desert encounter does. If you want to open, actually, why don't you go down to the desert encounters turn on the.
Okay.
You'll notice that I've added these terrain effects for each different terrain type, and they're all different depending on the terrain. I tried to make them thematic. This is totally optional. You might not like these at all. You don't have to use. You can totally ignore the combat tracker.
Nice. I see. So yeah, you could say I'm gonna target all the party members, and the sandstorm hits, and let's see. The rogue failed, so he's gonna be blinded. Boom! I love it. That's cool. Yeah, you could obviously add your own effects, whatever you wanted to do.
So these maps, where did you find the art for them? Because they're really nice.
I actually created all these maps myself. That's the other thing I'm concerned to do is create a lot of map packs.
Very nice. Yeah.
And
it's a nice
love it.
Map.
If you purchase the thing from DM's Guild, it comes with the maps. Here's kind of what they all look like here.
Okay, I have to know. Did you make them in Photoshop, or are you using a map making software?
I use Dungeon Draft actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
Draft, yeah.
I have that. I just don't use it very much.
So you can get those, everybody, if you purchase this module. But if you want just the maps alone, hashtag why would you do that? Just buy this, damn it. But he does have the maps available for free. If you go to DM's Guild and type in MNM maps, which is Mad Nomad Maps, go ahead.
I changed it to Battle Maps by Terrain.
Okay. Yes, that was a name change. Well, apparently there's a lot of things by terrain.
Come on, Rob. It's DM's Guild.
There we go, for Fantasy Grounds. There we go. So here it is. So, and there's better pictures of all of them. There are 4 of them anyway. So yeah. So what does Publisher Preview do? Okay, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. Okay, contact us. I don't know what's happening. So anyway, there you go, everybody. That's how you get them for free if you want. Suggested price $1 million. Throw in a buck. Come on, do your part. But yes, you can get the maps by themselves, or you can get the thing we're talking about, which comes with the maps. So there you go. Okay.
I can show you, Rod. I'm going to show one other cool thing with the maps. Like, you go back to the desert encounter and click on the shield for that encounter NPC. Actually, well, I remember. Sorry, you were actually right where I wanted to be. Let's say you wanted to use more than the one map that I've got. All right, if you could open that back up again.
Oh yeah, then you can just add your maps, right?
Yeah, you just drag your own images into here, and then anytime you run a desert encounter, you can randomly determine the map if you.
Right. So if I had these aren't maps, but you could see where you could. Oops, you got to add other maps in here like this. All your desert maps, which I'm going to take out because those aren't maps. Just to show you.
By the way, you can do the same thing with monsters. So let's say you can't wait for me to add more books, or you have your own homebrew monsters you want to add to the random encounters. The same basic principle applies for that.
Yep.
You can add those to the appropriate tables, which I don't want to go into detail on that here, but that will allow you to get your own monsters or any monsters you want into the random encounter.
Right. Excellent. So yeah, if you're too excited, if you're too excited and you can't wait, then that's exactly what you can do. You can go and just add your own monsters in. Now, keep in mind, the thing that to be careful about and to remember is anytime
Cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the cheerbits.
Bitboss, thank you, Garvey Anytime you alter something in a module, if you update that module, all of your updates will be gone. So just keep that in mind. So if you go and do a huge amount of maps or monsters and you're adding like 100 monsters, as soon as you update that, it's gone. Yeah, so you got to be careful.
Export it
So I
as
wouldn't
your
recommend
own module.
Yeah, you could do that too. Export it. As a matter of fact,
I didn't mean to cut him off.
No,
I'm
that's all right.
sorry.
All right. What else are we doing?
So the last thing we'll show is if you go to the very top table, this is the one that basically you'll use all the time once you understand how this thing works. This lets you define different kinds of custom encounters and save them for later, or just go back and tweak ones you ran previously by using some syntax. So each of these rows is a type of encounter. I have some example ones in there just so you can sort of see how the logic works and everything. But essentially, let's say the first one, for example, says 6 level 6. It's the little marks on the front and back. Change the custom number at the top to a 1 instead of a +5 there. Basically, whatever you put in that custom box right there, that's the row encounter you're going to. If you roll that one, you're gonna generate a level 6.
Boom. Oh,
just by the way, whenever you roll an encounter, it has one creature in it. That's technically a valid encounter based on the Xanathar's rules. But they recommend re-rolling if you get that, because it's kind of complicated. But you could have, for example, 7 level 6 characters, and 6 level 6 might be part of it, and then it would be a valid part. But it's anyway. So the basic tip is if you roll one encounter, roll it again. You get more than one creature.
Gotcha. So it's quite different. There's a lot of smaller dudes in there.
This is a really good example too of something else you can do with the encounter generator. Don't feel like you have to just use exactly what you get. One tip that I like to do is that if there's too many different types of creatures, you just find two creatures that are the same CR. You can just delete one creature and add 2 of the other creature. Like, that happens sometimes where you got 8 different kinds of creatures. By the way, I've done work on the back end to make it so that doesn't happen as often as it would. We're truly just doing random. But that's a simple way to adjust the encounter to account for that.
Okay, cool.
If you want a harder encounter, if people who aren't familiar with Xanathar's rules, what they say to do is basically add 50% of your number of PCs to make basically a deadly encounter, if you're familiar with the old encounter terms, and then down to 2/3 of the levels, make an easy encounter. So, for example, the second row shows you what a deadly encounter would.
Right, because 6 plus 50% is 9. Okay, got it. Oh, and by the way, just to be clear, everybody, what you're rolling is you're rolling a D0 plus
cheerbits in the stream. Thanks for the
modifier
cheerbits
that you put. So basically, you're just changing it to the row you want. So if you wanted row 8 here, you'd put an 8 in here. That's just what that is. Cheerbits McClancy, thank you for the cheerbits, sir. Bitboss cheerbits. Okay, so what's the next one then?
And the third one is showing you how you don't have to simply use average level. If you have a party that has different level PCs and you want to be specific to that, you can type that in like 3 level 5, 3 level 7, and instead of doing 6 level 6.
Oh, sweet. Okay, that's here. I want to see that. Let me look at that. Number 3.
One thing to keep in mind with that is that because you're doing 2 different groups of lower number of PCs, you're probably going to get more enemies and lower CR enemies, but it's still appropriate difficulty encounter. You won't get like one as you're doing it that.
Right. Cool. And remember, you can go and click that, and it'll give you the XP and the CR for the encounter. Awesome. And one thing to keep in mind, which hasn't been mentioned, and users of Fantasy Grounds will know this, but just as a reminder, each one of these encounters you're creating is, of course, put into the encounters as results. So you're going to just start generating massive amounts of these. And if you're not using them, a best practice is to go and, erase the ones that you're not using or erase the ones you've already used and kind of keep this clean over here.
Good point. And also, I guess along the same logic, you can generate them in advance if you want as well.
Right.
Save them.
Yeah, you could, if you know you're going to have a bunch of encounters during your session, and that's my USB now. I got to unplug that. If you're going to have a bunch of encounters and your group isn't going to level up between that or whatever, you could generate 2 or 3 of these before you even start the game and have them ready to go.
The next couple examples are showing you how you can add keywords to the syntax to generate terrain or monster type specific thing. So this fourth one, for example, is adding desert. You notice it doesn't have the plus. That means it won't add the map and all that cool feature stuff. So you're probably never going to really want to use that without the plus. But the plus only works for terrain type because there's no map really that is applicable for a deviling or a giant counter.
Oh,
that could
right.
be,
So these. Right. So I'm assuming there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so 12. One map for each one, so 12 pluses. By the way, a little Fantasy Grounds tip. I want to search only tables that have terrain. I'm going to put the plus sign in the search and do that. Oh, look, there they all are right there. Boom, like that. That's how you do it. So, good. So let's do the forest one, the very next one, and watch this happen. And it'll, of course, put the forest counter within. There it is right there. And then add the monsters, which in this case is just an Eidolon. Did I say it right, Robin?
That would be Eidolon.
Okay.
You never played Final Fantasy?
No, I am the human being on the planet Earth that has never played even one version of Final Fantasy.
Oh my god, we can't be friends.
All right. And then we have, what's the next one? Oh, legendary. What does that do?
So Xanathar has introduced a special kind of encounter called a legendary encounter, where it's intended to generate just one monster that's a little more difficult than you would normally get in an encounter, hence that's why you want to re-roll if you just get one. And with this, you can generate a legendary encounter, so you have one big bad creature for your group. And you can add a keyword to the end of it to make it terrain specific or creature type specific, or you can do it without the keyword as well if you want.
Wow, that is amazing. This is what people have been screaming for, I made the random encounter generator 3 years ago? Maybe even longer than that. I can't remember when I made it, but the thing it does not do is it doesn't account for type of monster, it doesn't account for terrain. It also doesn't use the Xanathar rules, it just uses a table off the internet, which was basically the only thing that existed at the time. So even though it's totally awesome and still a valid purchase, this is way better. And all this customization and how you can change all these to match what you're looking for. I mean, it's just incredible. Dire Troll. Let's kill it. Burn it! Okay. And then the next one says you can divide the number of PCs to create encounters with certain types of creatures and terrains. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this one lets you mix and match. So let's say you wanted to have a forest encounter, but you wanted to ensure there was some fake creatures in the encounter. You do that. But let's say you wanted to create a encounter with giants and undead. You do this and just replace the forest and fae with giant and undead.
Yeah, that's awesome. And oh yeah, and it's actually doing them individually as well. So it's not going to say these are always all going to be ones. And then this way too is if you want to rename them, like instead of just having Skulk, you can call them like in Rick and Morty's, you can call them Jerry, and Jerry, only spelled all 4 different ways. That was funny. So that's cool. All right, and the last.
You might get some encounters where that one had 10 PCs in it. 10 PCs. Now, if you were using the rules just as they are, you might end up with encounters with literally 100 NPCs because they don't really. If there would be a valid encounter. So I've already taken steps in the back end to ensure you're never going to get that. So I've modified it so you're never going to get more than say the worst case, like 3 times the number. I know, you don't really want to fight battles that have that many.
Right. And the good thing to remember too that we've already said before is that if you get an encounter that's you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, nah, you can just reroll it. And then the last one tells you you can enter your custom code and make it however you want. So you've got, I don't know if you've done the math. I'm kind of hoping you haven't. But I mean, there must be billions of combinations because you've got number of PCs through 9, I think, number of levels through 20, types of monsters, types of terrains. So, I mean, just imagine what the exponential amount of all those combinations are, and you'll just never stop. It's almost a guarantee that you're going to get a unique combination of stuff each time you do it. What I would think.
One thing we could show really quickly is that there are some combinations that just don't work because there are no creatures
Cheer
that
bits,
would be
cheer bits in
applicable.
the stream. Thanks for the
Like,
cheer bits.
for example, I want to unlock this table real quick at the top, and we can actually show how you can enter your code.
Okay. Cheerbits, Fantasy Grounds College, thank you for the cheerbits.
And number 8.
In number 8.
Just type in the little squiggly symbol, or tilde, whatever that's called, and 2 level 1 devil.
2 level 1 devil. Okay.
And change your custom to, there you go.
And it's this you're saying this is not going to work.
Right, because there is no valid encounter. And here's what it does. It tells you.
That's incredible. No appropriate creatures. This will appear if you've selected an encounter type where no appropriate creature can be generated for the combination of party members, levels, and keywords used. There you go. Now, what is a good combination for that for the devils?
I think if you go to 3, it probably works. So if you get one of those, you can just slightly adjust the number of players.
Yep, there he is. He's the devil, like that. That is so cool, everybody. Is everybody freaking out? We're gonna give away a copy of this, by the way, so don't everybody just relax. All right, and is there more? Oh, and it does have instructions, everybody. There are they're here. He tells you he's got it all covered, so you're good to go. And I of course have a disease where I have to erase that one that we made. Okay. Anything else we need to explain here? I guess not. That's the end of the.
I think we've covered it all.
I'm gonna go and that back the way it was. That. Okay, excellent. So guys, if you have questions, now's the time. Put your questions in the chat, and meanwhile, I'm gonna set up the old giveaway. So we can.
While you set up the giveaway, George Orr would like to know: is it possible to add custom-made critters in the mix to be chosen? And I think they kind of touched on that, but I'll let Mad Nomad answer that.
Yeah, so you can do that. The way you would do that is you'd have to open up the appropriate table. So let's say it was a CR5 creature you made. You open up the table where it says CR5. Actually, there's a bunch of tables because if it's a forest creature, for example, you have to add them into the CR5 forest table as well, and the CR5 times 2 table. So there's a few different tables you have to add that to, but you can open those up and add your custom creatures in there. And if you're only doing it for a handful of creatures, it's totally doable. We're trying to do it for a whole book, like Rob was saying earlier. It's probably not going to be great for adding a huge number of creatures, but just a couple, not a problem.
All right, everybody. Hey, Nutty the Gnome, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. All right, here we go, everybody. I'm going to start a 1-minute counter, and in order to join in, type in Mad Nomad with the exclamation point. Mad Nomad, and you guys should see your names appear here in this list as you're doing it. And then at the end of the minute counter, we will draw us a winner and give that away and proceed to answer your questions if you have them. You're all super smart, and instead of asking questions, you're all rushing to the DM's Guild to buy this right now. And so you're not.
Yeah,
not
I
asking.
did. I just bought it tonight.
Did you do it?
I did. I'll probably be ballsy and add all of the Kobold Press monsters to mine.
Yeah,
though.
I think what you said earlier, Robin's probably a good way to do it. You would maybe make your own. Oh, how would you do that? Make your
Well,
own
I would add them
tables.
to the tables as they stand. So forest monsters on the forest table, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I would just export the whole thing as my own module.
Yeah.
That way, if Mad Nomad updates his module in the future, I can have that new updated version and my own version.
All right, everybody, I'm going to draw a winner. The winner is boom, Mr. Wolf. Congrats to Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf, you know what to do. Send me a PM in Discord letting me know that you won that, and I will give you a copy of it. And I will also give another copy away at the very end of the show. So if you guys hang around, right when we end the show, I'll give away another copy of this. And that's how you
Congrats!
do it. Yay! I'm going to write down Mr. Wolf's name in the spreadsheet here so I don't forget.
Rob.
Yeah.
I will give away an extra copy. So 3.
Oh my god,
total.
that's two more, everybody. So just get ready, Mr. Wolf. The WOLLF. How was it again? I forgot. WOOLFF. Okay. Whatever, I know who it is. Alright, so that's 2 we're gonna give away at the end, everybody. What are your questions? Did we miss any questions so far?
I haven't seen any more.
Okay.
I was waiting. There was giveaways going on. So
yeah, the cool thing about this is that normally when we showcase a thing, I'm always thinking, oh yeah, people are gonna ask, because I think in terms of defense, right? Like, what am I gonna get emails about? And that's how my mind works now after 4 years of doing this. But the cool thing about this is it pretty much is what it is, and it seems like there's no. I mean, maybe the syntax might give people problems until they get used to it, but pretty much this is, even though I'm not a very big fan of this phrase, it is what it is. I mean, it's really cool. And I mean, it's the thing about it is it's just so powerful. Like, the encounter, the monster tables, and I mean, just the sheer work that goes into this. Believe me, I know. So, congrats to you on that, sir, because it's just awesome. Question: are there plans to continue to update this in the future? I will let Mad Nomad answer that.
That's a great question. Maybe I could use this opportunity, Rob. Is it okay to talk about the Patreon thing I was telling you about?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, and I'll actually bring up your Patreon as you talk about it. Is it Mad Nomad GM? Is that the name of the Patreon?
I think you go to madnomadmedia.com. I'll redirect you to my Patreon.
Okay.
And so the reason I bring it up is, actually maybe not. Well, anyways, I'll be able to just find it.
Did I type it in wrong? Does it need the www? I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about the internet.
The www. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Okay.
The main reason I wanted to point this out is if you scroll down, if you want to the Patreon, that's great. I'm planning in the future on letting Patreons vote on what they want me to work on next, and you can read all about the details here. But right now, even for anybody who's interested in this at all, I just have a public poll here. You can help me determine what features I work on next, whether that's creating creatures to fill those gaps of invalid encounters, or new map packs that you can use with this, or adding all the books to it. So I have at the very bottom, there's a poll where you can basically just tell me what thing you're most interested in. It should be that continue reading.
There we go.
It doesn't seem to show up there.
Well,
I'll figure it out after I'm not sure why it's not showing, but there we go.
Here it is. I can check whichever one of these I want.
So that's the long answer, but basically, I'm going to let people who are following me kind of vote and choose what I work on. And
Okay.
if it's more books, then I'll add more books. If they want more ways to customize encounters by other things, then I can work on that.
I have a question. How long, start to finish, roughly, did it take you to build it as it is now?
Well, as Rob was saying earlier, there's a lot. There's literally a million lines of XML code in this. But it took me, I'd say, probably about 2 weeks work.
And is that like working every single night for a couple hours or
Yeah.
okay.
my I think mine took me 100 hours. And it's
Ay.
far inferior to this as it stands now. Oh my god.
Don't
I'm
say
so
that. They're both great.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I just, I set out to make mine knowing nothing. I'd never opened an XML file. I barely knew anything about Fantasy Grounds. I'm not even sure I knew how to export much. I just, most of the stuff I built was built from sheer will. But had I known different things, I could have cut my work time by 100% or more. Like I just didn't know what I was doing. So that is equal parts super fantastic and fucking disappointing as hell to hear that it only took you 2 weeks. That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, so I gave everybody in the chat the Patreon link. I'm going to give that again. So if you guys are interested in going there to Mad Nomad's Mad Nomad Media Patreon. Whoops. Hello. There we go. And he's got 5 different levels. Well, 4 I guess, because one of them's not available. And he's got a Discord server as well, because he's super smart. And so yeah, there you go, everybody. Ooh, I like that picture. Not really into artwork so much sometimes, but sometimes I see something I like. Like this open book with a photograph in the clouds. I don't know what this is. Drawn to it. And once again, for those of you that might be coming late to the show, here's the URL for the product that we're talking about. And we can also, just because it'll be fun, go see how many have been sold. I think before the show, there were 18 copies sold. If I might be off by 1 on that.
It'll be at least 19 now.
Yeah, I think it might have been 19. Yeah, I think it was 19 before the show started. So let's see what it is
Okay,
now.
20 then.
20, at least 20.
Because I bought one.
Let's see. It is 22. There you go. So at least 3 people, maybe. Awesome.
Hey.
So, hey, and then Robin's gonna buy another one. So
Yep, I'm gonna buy and gift one.
What
to a
else are
winner.
your questions, everybody? Let's make sure that we don't have any questions. Oh, and there is a little video here to watch that kind of, it's just a little 3-minute video that gives examples, but I'm also going, when this show is up on YouTube, I'll put a URL in here for that so people can actually refer to this show as well so they see the whole details. This might be a devastatingly straightforward presentation because I can't think of any questions myself. Pretty much everything was answered for me.
I just want to say it's amazing. And you did great work. I love it already.
Totally amazing. I know that when we play on Tuesdays, 5e pickup games, this will be overused. It will be incredibly.
Ooh, Rob.
Yeah. Yep.
Caesar wants you to use the encounter generator to make a encounter for a group of 9 level 20 player characters.
Okay,
Damn.
9 level 20s. Here we go. Here we go. Here it is.
Oh my god.
Let's see what the CR is. 22. Holy shit. If you can kill
A-
all these monsters, which is an adult bronze dragon, 2 cambions, a drow inquisitor, a froghemoth, and a young copper dragon, hopefully I pronounced all those correctly, it is 36,900 XP.
Is there a picture for this froghemoth? Because I want to see that.
Yes.
Oh, you've never seen a froghemoth? They're so creepy.
Oh, good lord!
Look at his little eyes up there. Look at his little eyes. Yeah, I mean, if this is you, it's over. You're fucked. And then if you pass that, you're just waiting in line for the dragon and 2 cambions. I mean, it's insane. But if you win this
Ooh.
encounter, you then next go fight Tiamat. That's how you do it.
Well, this is like what
Nomad.
level 20, so damn.
Yeah, first of all, if it was any game I was in Fantasy Grounds, there wouldn't be 9 player characters. Fuck that. But that's awesome.
Crazy.
Oh, and that's the other thing is my encounter generator is only 3 through 7, and he's got 1 through 9, so he went balls out on that.
The main reason for the 9 is because you need the 9 to do a hard encounter or a deadly encounter, like a 6.
Right. Yep.
I'm with you. I would never want to play 9 people.
No, my max on an online game is 5 players. And
I did 8 once, and it was pure chaos. We did an entire campaign with 8 players that I jammed for.
Do they all like stick around to the very end?
Yes, they did, and it was insane.
Wow.
I'll never do it again. Never.
I think you can get away at the kitchen table. You can get away with having a person or 2 more than your normal tastes would be. But online, it's unwieldy to go past 5 people. Just crazy. Yep.
I like 5. 4 or 5 is like my perfect size.
I like 5, and so that if someone is sick, you can still go with 4, and usually you know, either leave that character out or someone else will pick it up. But 6 to me it's beyond the pale. I can't do it. I have to scream about it. I can't do it. Yeah.
I don't mind 6, but I don't prefer it.
Right.
I'll do 6, like if it's, you know, so and so won't play unless so and so can play, like then I'll accept 6, whatever.
And I might do
but
6 for a
5.
one shot, like a 2-hour thing. Like that's for 5e pickup games, we do have a max of 6. So I you know, but I can't do it for like a campaign or and there's many different reasons for that, and some of them are personal, some of them are just like universally accepted truths. But you know, having to wait longer, even one person longer between your turn, people are gonna get bored and fidgety, and it's just, you know, 4 and 5 is a sweet spot, I think, for online.
Yeah.
And that's probably no matter what game you're playing. Any turn-based game, whether it's an RPG or not, just any turn-based game, I think 4 or 5 is a sweet spot.
There was one more question for Mad Nomad. What are some of the other things that you're working on? This is from Joe Slucher.
So I haven't say I'm working on them exactly yet, but they're in my backlog. I have some ideas about random magic item generator with custom magic item properties. So sort of like a Diablo-esque item generation.
Sold.
You speak my language. I love it.
Yeah, that is a pretty cool idea. I like that. That's also something I would personally never attempt. So there you go. I'm out of ideas. I've been out of ideas since 2017. I'm out.
Well, I got ideas. I have no time to do them though.
Well,
I'll buy it when you come out with that, Mad Nomad.
Yeah, sold. 2 sold.
First.
Be on the loop. I've lost time at the moment. You know, I'm one of those people that during this whole COVID situation found themselves with a lot more time than usual. So that's
true.
Stuff.
See, for me, I thought I would have more time, but because now, like, my kids aren't going to school. Well, it's summertime, but if it was school time, my kids are home all the time. So for me, in my position, I have way less free time than I did before.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo-esque. Yeah, so I did not teach myself a language or get like so much extra work done. It's funny because people people always ask me, because of DM's Guild and also Fantasy Grounds conversions directly to for them and all the stuff I do. People are like, "Oh, you must be getting so much more done," and I'm like, "My life is not changed. I'm sitting at home by myself as I normally do, and just because there's a pandemic doesn't mean I've got extra time all of a sudden. So I haven't been getting anything more done than I normally do."
I'm definitely getting less done.
Pandemics, they're so stupid. All right. Any more questions, everybody? I think Derek, did we miss anything, or is there anything else you wanted to let everybody know before we end the show?
If anybody does have questions after or runs into some random issue, obviously, just message me on your Discord server there in that channel.
Yep, he's got his own channel, everybody, as of today on my Discord. Just like Diablo Bob, just like Matakuri, just like Kent, he's got Mad No Mad Stuff as a channel under DM's Guild Discussions. And if there's anybody watching who's not on our Discord, come on by. Here's the link, because we are talking about Fantasy Grounds and D&D pretty much 24/7. We've got almost 1,300 members in the Discord. So come on by, everybody. And
I have one last question for Mad Nomad.
Yes, ma'am.
Aside from your Patreon page, do you have any social medias like Twitter or Instagram or anything like that you want to tell everybody about?
I technically have a Twitter, but I don't think I've used it for anything.
That's fair. That's fair. Not everybody does, but I figured I would ask.
I think Discord is the medium of choice for me.
There you go. And he'll have his own Discord channel as well too, and you can come to my Discord and PM him and ask him for his, because it's also included in the Patreon page. If you look there, he gives you a Discord role in his server, and there you go. That's how you do it. That's how everybody should do it. Okay, so let's give away 2 more of these items. How about that? Mr. Wolf has already won. I'm going to give away another one, and Robin's going to give away another one. So we'll just pull 2 names off this list. And the list has begun. So in the chat, everybody, type !Mad Nomad. We'll disqualify Mr. Wolf from winning a second one, so don't enter. I'm sure he wouldn't do that anyway. But you will see your name appear on this list on screen. The stream is delayed maybe about 4 seconds, so you might not see it immediately, but you will. Until it goes down to the bottom, and then I wish it would feed names into this from the top so that new names go to the top of the list, but it doesn't do that. But that's all right. And if you think you might have spelled it wrong, which I don't think anybody did, you can enter it again, because you can't enter twice. You can type Mad Nomad 45 times. It doesn't matter. And we'll pull 2 names off this list when it's done. I would like to thank everybody for watching today as well. If you didn't win it, but you think you might use it, you should definitely go buy it. And because it's awesome. That's why. Darth Vex. !Mad Nomad 45 times, he typed into the chat. Okay, that's it. Here we go. 2 winners. First winner is... Boom. Joel Schlucher, the guy that just asked the question. Good for you.
Yay!
Joel, if you would send me a message in my Discord, just PM me and say, hey, I won the thing, and then I'm going to write his name down, and then I'll pull another name.
This is the last one I'll be gifting to.
Okay. So the last one who Robin will be gifting you is going to be Real Granomir. Nice. So, Real Granomir, you can contact Robin in my Discord. If you can't find her, Remedies, you can...
It's Robin. I have both. So if you search, you'll find me. Robin with a Y.
But we'll write it down anyway, just in case. Granomir. This one is Robin with a Y.
Just send me your DM's Guild email address.
Right. Awesome. So
congrats.
Super cool. Any final questions? You guys can type them in now. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and end the show. When the show's over, we will do our Sunday night gaming thing where we play Jackbox.tv. So if you're watching the show for the first time right now, or you're watching on YouTube, you need to make sure and join us on Sunday nights because we play Jackbox Party Pack games as a separate show at the end of our Sunday show. We'll just stop the stream for like 5 or 10 minutes and then start it up again. And that'll be super fun. And Bex always wins and we yell at him, and that's how you do it. Any final questions from you co-hosts?
No, I just want to say that I love this encounter generator. It's so awesome.
It is amazing. What about you, Fury? You're satisfied?
Yeah, I mean, if I was a DM, this would definitely be on my to-buy list.
It would be a must. And Mr. Mad Nomad GM, anything else you would like to say before we go away?
Oh, just again, thanks for having me on. This is my first time on Twitch in any format, so interesting.
Oh wow! Cool. Oh, I'm glad to be have busted your cherry, so to speak. You know, a surprisingly little amount of profanity this evening. I don't know what the fuck happened. But, something happened.
I got all of mine out yesterday during the Rick and Morty game.
Oh yeah. And so
you're just too excited about this product. That's what it is.
That's what it is. And Derek, when you make anything in the future, you're more than welcome to come back and show us what you got. We'll have you on the show again anytime you want.
Oh, and will you be here next week for the all team TUI show?
That's August 9th, actually.
It's August 9th. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's look at the schedule. So next week is the end of Founders Day weekend for Fantasy Grounds College.
Right.
We'll be doing the wrap-up show and giving away their prizes and stuff. And then the week after that is revisiting Portals and token stacking with Diablo Bob. And then August 9th is the Team TUI show. And Mad Nomad GM is a member of Team TUI. He is on the team, so if he's available, he can come and be on that show too. That's just going to be an informal gathering of whoever shows up and wants to come and talk about their stuff. So in another 3 weeks, you can come back and talk about this again and say, hey, by the way, did you guys forget about the random encounter generator?
By then, I might have too. So
there you go.
Yeah.
But that's just going to be a show where we all get together and talk about what we're doing. And to be honest, it was just a slot. I needed to fill a slot, so I created that show. And that original slot was today. But when you came along, I bumped that shit down and put you in because that's how.
Like, Rob, you're not supposed to reveal what's going on behind the scenes.
Oh no,
we totally planned the show, and it's going to be amazing. And
let me just move it from here down.
You stop it.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I always tell everybody what's up. I don't have any secrets. Well, okay, that's not true.
I know. I was trying to be funny.
Rob is very transparent. He's like cellophane.
I'm transparent both physically and the other one, metaphorically.
I was gonna say emotionally transparent, but okay.
That too.
Also that.
Also that. All right, everybody. We'd like to once again thank Mad Nomad GM for coming by and showing us his wares. Don't forget